I hope you are doing well. Today is Tuesday, March 19. So if you're watching this live, say hi. If you're watching this on the replay, just type hashtag replay. I'll come back and greet you properly. So we are on day 2 of our 5-day challenge. And yesterday, I was going to say last week, yesterday we talked about how to actually come up with your business idea. And really, in essence, when you're thinking about a business idea, for the purpose of this challenge, we're looking at a service based online business. So, something that is based on your expertise, something that is based on things that you're good at, things that you like, and something that people are going to pay you money for. Okay, so these 3 circles that we talked about yesterday. If you haven't seen yesterday's video, you can go back and watch it. I'm going to tag you in the description of this video as well. And so we are not looking at starting a business that is going to tie us to a specific location. So no inventory, no need for specific locale where you have, stock for things or, things like that. You want an online business that is 100% online where you can actually find clients online, provide your services online. It doesn't have to be in person. It could be if you want to, but in essence, you want your business to be 100% online. That way, you just have Wi Fi, something like Zoom, and sometimes you don't even need Zoom. So, we're going to talk about different models at some point this week. But in general terms, you want a business that will allow you to do everything online without you having to be tied to a specific location. Okay, so if you have any questions about yesterday, what we talked about yesterday, maybe you're not sure about your business idea, or you want to run it by me, you want to see if it's a valid business idea, just post it in the comments and then I will read it and make sure that I can give you some feedback. Okay, so today is all about how can you find those clients and how to sell, and more specifically, what is something that you have to do before you can make your first sale or to guarantee that you're actually going to make money with your offers. Like we said yesterday, we talked about the first 2 circles, the things that you're good at and the things that you like to do, right? And we said that these were the things that you can control, that you can determine right away. And the third circle that will make your business ideas a sustainable business is if people are going to pay you money for that. Okay, if they don't pay you money for it, then you're just doing it for fun, you're good at it, but you don't make money. So you're not a business, okay? It's just a hobby, something that you like to do for fun, but you're not making any money out of it. So we want to have that third circle where you are getting money, you're getting paid. And that's the process of validating your business idea. The first 2 circles were all you, but now you have to go and look at your audience and see if people will actually be willing to pay for that. Okay, so here's the process of what you have to do. And if you have the workbook, you can go through it. We are on day 2. If you don't have it, click on the link below where it says how to join the free challenge. You will receive an email with the PDF with all the notes and all that. You can write down your notes on the worksheet, okay? So the thing is that a lot of people make assumptions about business ideas or things that, oh, I came up with an idea and I'm sure it's gonna sell, I'm sure I'm gonna make a lot of money, but they're assuming that people want what they have to sell. Assumptions are going to kill your business. Okay, you do not run a business based on assumptions. You need proof, and that process is validation. You need to validate your business idea to make sure that there's a market for it, that there's demand for what you have to offer, and then and only then you will see that it's a sustainable machine. Okay, because if you are investing thousands of dollars on a logo, a website, LLC, and all of that, and then nobody wants your thing, it's a waste of time and money again. We talked about that yesterday. But to put the pressure off, because a lot of people think that, well, I have to create a business that is super innovative, something that nobody else has done. I have this idea and I don't want to share it because I don't want doing something super innovative and you want to be a startup. This is probably not what we're talking about here. Like the type of business that you want to start so that you can run it from anywhere in the world based on your expertise, based on something that you like and that is 100% online. It's based on what you already know. You don't need to go and get a certificate about it. You don't need to go back to school to learn about it. It's things that you already know. And now, based on your experience, you can teach other people about it. So you can coach people through it. You can walk people through it. You can guide people through it. Again, we talked about that yesterday. What are some of the questions that people ask you all the time? Like they ask you your advice about something because you're really good at it. Maybe you're really good at baking. Maybe you're really good at giving advice, at listening. Turn the things that you're already good at into a business. That's simple. That's it. It's not an innovation. It's not something that has never been done in the whole world. You don't need that kind of pressure. What you need is a business based on what you already know that other people need. Okay? That third part, what people need. And this is what we're going to cover today. So, the thing is that we're going to be very clear. We have to be very clear on who your audience is. Maybe you heard it. People talk about it as your client avatar, your ideal client avatar, your avatar, right? It's your ideal client, your person, the perfect person to buy your service, to buy your offer. So think about that person. A common mistake that people make when they are thinking about launching a business, starting a business, they say, I want to help people. Who is people? Helping the whole world? Not everybody is the same. Okay, so a mother's problem is not the same as a dad's problem. This mom's problem is not the same as this type of mom's problem. You have to be very specific on the person that you want to help. So saying I want to help moms, even moms in general, it's not specific enough because moms is very broad and we have different type of issues. Okay, so you have to be very specific on the demographics of your audience, of your ideal client, as well as the psychographics, meaning their behaviors, their habits, their preferences. Okay, these things as well. So you have to look at both sides, demographics and psychographics. So looking at the demographics first, well, gender, okay, maybe their income level, maybe their education level, maybe if they have kids or not, their family structure, their location, where they live. Okay, you have to be very clear on these things, on the demographics of your ideal client. Who do you really want to serve? And if you have that already, let me know in the comments. Okay, who exactly are you trying to help? What kind of problems do they have? That's where that's where the psychographics are going to help us a little more. Because if you just stop at the demographics and you say, well, I want to help moms of, moms of kids, moms of multiples. Okay, that's super precise. Moms of multiples who live in the, I don't know, in an urban area, so in the city, and who are married as well in the US. Okay, so that's very specific, but it doesn't tell me what kind of problem she has. I'm a mom of multiples. Okay, I have twins, but my friend who's also a mom of multiples, her twins are teenagers. We don't have the same issues. We don't have the same problems. My twins are 6 years old. Okay, so a new mom who just had twins or triplets has different issues and behaviors and habits as a mom who has twin adult kids or twin teenagers. All right, so you have to look into the psychographics and be very clear on what kind of habits, behaviors this person has. So maybe she's a new mom. Maybe she's struggling with postpartum depression. Maybe she's a single mom and she needs the support of a village and she doesn't have that. What exactly is the problem of your ideal client? The more precise you are in the description of the problem, the easier it's going to be for people to recognize that your offer is specifically for them. Now, one thing that people tend to do is that when they hesitate to zone down and really niche into that idea, that picture of one person, is that they feel like, well, I'm not going to find more of that person. If I just focus on one person, I'm not going to find more of that one person. But the thing is that it's false. You are going to find more people like that because we relate to each other. But not everybody who subscribes to this follows me is per se my exact ideal client. Still, they still follow me, they still buy my offers, they still watch the videos, right? So the more precise, the more niche you are on your ideal client, the more people who relate to that person and can self-identify with that person, the more these people will come around. But if you're very vague on who your offer is for or who you're trying to help, then nobody's going to relate to what you're saying. Does that make sense? Right? So people are going to be like, I don't really know who she's talking to. Like if you're just talking to, let's take the example of moms. Okay? You're just talking to moms. And as a mom, I'll be like, I don't know if this is for me because I'm in this kind of situation. And she's talking about things in general, like moms in general. And I don't know if that I can connect with what she's saying. Okay. But if you're very specific, it's okay if people don't connect with that specific person. They're just not your ideal client. But when you're very specific, your ideal client will be able to raise their hand and say, hey, I like what she's saying. I'm just like her. I can relate. I have something very similar. I have similar experiences, right? But you have to be first very clear on who your ideal client is. Okay? So, how do you now figure out what your ideal client is really struggling with? Because you have a general idea. Okay? So, for example, I want, through this channel, I want to help the African diaspora living, so in the US and Canada mostly, but in the UK as well, the African diaspora fund their return back to the continent of Africa. Okay? Now, if you want to move abroad as a family, but you don't necessarily want to move to Africa, can you watch this channel? Absolutely, you can. Many of you don't even want to go to Africa, but you are subscribed to the channel and you're watching the videos, okay? But I'm very clear on my content. My content, when I talk about countries, I'm talking about the continent of Africa, okay? I don't really give tips on how to move to China, to Europe. I talk about that, and mostly when it compares to moving to the continent or specific countries in Africa, right? But my audience, okay, is looking at, okay, going back to Africa. That's my audience. Now, if you can be exactly that person and you're here and you're like, oh, I'm all for that. I'm all for that. But you could be somehow related to it because you're thinking, okay, I have a family and I want to move abroad and I'm not sure yet. Maybe it's not going to be in Africa, but maybe it's going to be to Mexico. But some of the tips that she's sharing are still valid for me. So you're still going to stick around, right? So you see how by being very specific, you are attracting the people who are exactly that ideal client, as well as people who can relate to that. All right? So be very, very specific on who you want to help. Now, in order for me to know exactly what kind of challenges my ideal client has, I need to do some market research. Again, assumptions kill. Okay, you don't want to just make assumptions because you're not really sure. So when you're doing your market research, there's an active way to do market research and there's a passive way to do your market research. Passive way, let's start with that. The passive way is easier, faster as well. It could be faster, and you can get started right away. You probably have done that already, but you don't realize it. The passive market research is where you are doing observations. You going on YouTube channels, you going on Instagram, in Facebook groups, and you are hearing, you're reading, you're seeing what your ideal client or people you want to help are struggling with. Some people are posting about their problems in groups. Let's say you want to help people with lose weight, right? You want to help people lose weight, but that's again very broad. Okay, the way I want to lose weight is not the same way as my husband would want to lose weight, and the way you would make your offer to me and for to be attractive to me is not the same strategy you would use to attract my husband. Okay, because we're two different people with two different needs. All right, so let's say you want to help new moms, okay, lose the baby weight. Different need than somebody who's had kids for like 10 years or 10 years ago and the baby weight is still there. Right? Different need, different situation. All right, so be very specific on who you want to help. So let's say you want to help new moms lose the baby in a year of having their child, of giving birth. All right, that's super specific. Now we want to understand what, in terms of psychographics, we want to understand what is really the challenge. What is the problem that they're not, what is not allowing them to lose weight? So in passive market research, you're going to look at specific groups, maybe new mom groups. And some moms are asking, what are you guys doing in terms of losing weight? When is the right time to go back to the gym, to get started with exercise? Do you lift weights? Do you just run? Do you do yoga? Maybe she's asking about what kind of exercise she can do. All right. If your assumption was that she wanted to do, I don't know, P90X or lift weights, and that's not really what she wanted, then she's not going to buy your program. Okay, so you have to pay attention to the kind of questions that they're asking in online, in Reddit, forums, Amazon, book reviews. Okay, so you can type on Amazon like a book about weight loss for new moms and look at the reviews. What are people who have bought that book are saying? The book helped them with this, they were struggling with that, but the book helped them overcome this. Okay, so you get an idea of, okay, what were their challenges and what they really wanted. So you want the challenge, the problem, and the desire. You want these two: challenge and desire. What they're struggling with and what they want. What is the aspiration? What is the goal for them? All right. So that's something that you can do as early as today, as early as we finish this live. You can go on YouTube channels and look at other people who are doing what you want to do, what just say similar to what you're doing. Other weight loss coaches who are helping new moms. Okay, and what kind of comments are they getting on their channel, on their videos, and all of that. Okay, so you can absolutely do that and look at what are people complaining about, what are they saying that they cannot do, what are they saying that they're struggling with, and then what are they saying that they were able to do thanks to that coach, thanks to the program. You can look at their program sales page and look at the testimonials. What were people struggling with and what were they able to accomplish after they went through the program? So you will see the challenge and the desire, the challenge and the results, the before and the after. You want to be able to see the transformation, and that way you will be able to sell a similar transformation. How can you help people go from challenging situation that they want to get out of into desired situation where their goal is? Okay, those are the two things that people will say online that they have and or that they want: the struggle and the desire. Does that make sense? Okay, so looking at, like I said, Amazon, you can look at YouTube channels, on Instagram, Facebook, social media, all over. People are talking. You just need to be in the right places to pay attention. You don't even have to ask questions. You just have to read and listen. Look through the comments, look through the in Facebook groups, you can do a search, like the search tab inside of the group, and type keywords. For me, for example, if I were to help, so for example, for this channel, I can go into a group like Exodus Summit Facebook group, and I will type keywords such as family, kids, Africa. I can type things specific to countries. Like I can name countries. I could type Morocco, for example. If I were to help people move to Morocco, I can type Ghana because Ghana is a very popular country for the diaspora. So I can type these keywords inside of the group and I can see what kind of questions people are asking related to this topic. What kind of comments are people posting? And I can get an understanding of, oh, this is something I can create a video about. This is something I can add to my paid program. This is something I can help more people with because they're openly saying what the issue is, what their fears are, what their questions are, so on and so forth, and also what they want. If they want a way to find more information about how to buy land, more information about insurance, about healthcare, all these things, right? And so, guess what? I will then talk about these things on my YouTube channel or and in my programs. Same thing for you. Look at what people are talking about and include that in your content, free and paid, because that's exactly what your people want. That's what your people want. So that's the passive way. Just observing, taking notes, listening, looking, reading, all of that passively. An active way now, which is more time consuming, is for you to directly talk to that ideal client. You will either do a survey or you can do interviews. Okay, those will be done online. You don't have to meet people in person if you don't want to, if you can't. But it's really about getting as many people as you can to answer your survey. Fill out the survey. So your survey form, you could do it on surveymonkey.com or even a Google form. It's free and you can ask the following questions. What do you struggle with when it comes to losing weight? What is your biggest problem? What is your biggest fear when it comes to moving abroad? What is your biggest fear when it comes to your finances. What is your biggest fears when it comes to your kids' education? What is your biggest challenge when it comes to your health? What is your biggest, do you see? What is the biggest fear, challenge, problem when it comes to, and then you insert your niche, your topic. All right, so you want to get an understanding of their problem. Another question that you can add inside of your survey is asking, if you had a magic wand, what would you want your finances to look like? What would you want your health to be like? What would you want your move abroad journey to be like? What would you like? What would you see yourself in 5 years? You want them to now share the things that they want, the things that they aspire to, the result, the final result, the aspiration, the transformation. Okay? So you have a question for the things that they're struggling with now and also where they want to go, because you have to be the person to take them from point A to point B. And you have to know what point A is and what point B is. Don't take them to point D when they never said that they wanted D. They want B, and B is what they want: more ease, more help, less stress, losing the weight, all of that. And they will tell you exactly what they want in their own words. All right, so that's what you want. Other questions that you can add in your survey is, why do you think you haven't been able to get to point B yet? Why do you think that? Okay. Maybe they will say, well, I don't have time when it comes to weight loss, right? Why do you think you haven't been able to lose the weight yet? The baby weight. Well, I don't have time. I don't have time. I don't have time. I'm struggling. I'm stressed. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to eat. Most people will say, I don't have time when it comes to weight loss, right? We all say that. I don't have time. So questions like that, that's what you really want to have in your survey. Now, the thing with your survey is that you don't want just anybody to answer your survey. When you post your survey, let's say on your Instagram or your personal Facebook profile, you want to call on the specific ideal client. You don't want just anybody, your mom, your grandma, to come and answer your survey. They are not your ideal client. I mean, if they're not, right? So you want to say, if you are a mom who just gave birth within last year and who's struggling to lose that baby weight, would you take 5 minutes of your time to fill out this survey and forward it to any other woman who's in the same situation? That way, you don't have dads answering the survey. You don't have your random friend answering the survey. You want specific people who are your ideal clients to answer the survey. Otherwise, you'll get answers that are people who have nothing to do with who you want to help. And we don't want that. We want your specific ideal client to answer your survey. Okay? Now, here's the thing. I mentioned that a lot of people might answer, I don't have time. And this is the flaw of surveys. Well, flawed. That's the limitation, I would say. This is the limitation of surveys. Is that yes, you can get a lot of them because you just post the link, share the link everywhere on your socials, in your circles and everything, and people will answer them. You can have like 30 answers, 50 answers, 100 answers, and it's all great. But the thing is that you cannot really go deeper and really understand what they mean by certain answers. Let's keep the same example of the weight loss. In a survey, say, I don't have time, like why you haven't been able to reach your goal yet of losing the weight. And 10 people say, I don't have time. And you'll just take it as face value as, I don't have time. And then you're going to create a program that saves them time. And then most people will not buy. The reason is because you don't really understand what they meant by saying, I don't have time. We made the assumption that it was literally they don't have time, they're busy, but it could be something deeper. And only having a conversation with these people, with your ideal client during an interview, will you really understand what they mean by I don't have time. That's why it's very important to also add that into your market research. So the passive, the active with surveys, that way you can get a lot of answers. But most importantly is to get interviews. Like talk to people on Zoom, over the phone, DM, like get to really talk to people to really understand what they mean by what they say in their answers. So it doesn't even have to be long. You can interview 10 people, 20 people, 30 people as well. But really, you want to be able to ask why. Why do you think that? Why, like follow up with every question. So, same question. You're asking them, you're on Zoom with them for like 20 minutes, and you're asking them, well, what do you think you haven't been able to lose the baby weight yet? And she says, well, I don't have time. And now you have the chance to say, well, what do you mean by I don't have time? And she can say, well, you know what? I go to the gym and then it's just a headache. I get so discouraged and so I just come home. And now you go again. Okay, so you actually go to the gym, you take the time to go, but you don't really spend time there because you feel discouraged. Can you tell me more about that? What makes you feel discouraged? And then she says, well, I get so intimidated by all of it. So I just end up just taking this 30 minutes or 1 hour as my lunch break. And I just don't exercise at all because I'm so intimidated. I just don't know what to do in there. I don't know where to start. It's like there's people there lifting weights, there's people on ellipticals. I just don't know where to start. Uh-huh. So it went from I don't have time to I don't know where to start because she's intimidated by the machines. So, light bulb, your offer now is not about saving her time. It's going to be about what can she do now to get started that is low impact and that is less intimidating for her. That way she can actually get started. Maybe it's not even going to be to go to the gym. Maybe you're going to suggest to her to do like a personalized plan when where you do a Zoom session with her and you guys do it in the comfort of her home after work or during her lunch break. So there's no intimidation and there's no waste of time. Okay, so now you know exactly what the problem was. It wasn't really literally about time, but it was more about I don't really know what to do. I'm intimidated by all of these people in the gym. They know what they're doing, but I just don't. I haven't been in the gym for like 2 years. I don't know what to do. Okay, so that's why it's super important to add those interviews in your arsenal of market research because you get to really, really, really understand what your ideal client is struggling with, what they really want. Same thing for okay, what are the desires? I want to be able to lose the weight. Okay, so why do you want to lose the weight? Like, how would that make you feel? Well, I want to lose the weight because I have a family reunion, because I have a class reunion. Okay, so why is it so important for you to lose the weight by then? Well, because this people were bullying me when I was in high school, whatever the reason, right? But you want to be able to understand the reasoning behind their choices, behind their problems, because now you're going to turn around and offer them something that is relatable. If they can't relate to your program, they're not going to buy. If you create a program that is all about um, saving time to exercise, that mom is not going to be like, that's not really what she needs. She might have said, well, I don't have time, but deep down, that's not what she really needs. What she needs is a personalized plan that will work for her so she's not intimidated when she goes into the gym. She needs to know what she has to do. Like right now, what can I start with that is not like super challenging? She's not trying to do P90X. She's trying to get back into the rhythm. Okay? Same thing for what she really wants, her aspirations. You can talk in your free content. This is where your free content, like whether you create content for YouTube, for Instagram and all that, you can use that language in your content. What you've learned in your market research is the foundation of your business. So if you don't do your market research well, you're going to build your business on assumptions that are not things that are not real, right? And so you want to make sure that you take the time to do the market research. It's time consuming. It can be long, but it's worth it because it's the foundation of your business. And once you've done that, you're good. Okay? So after you do the market research, like day 2, 3, and 4, day 3, 4, and 5 are easy peasy. It's a walk in the park. It's really easy. But today, it's heavy, it's challenging, but it's necessary because it's the foundation of your business. You absolutely need to do that. I actually have a board. I don't know if I have it here. I think I do. Let me see. No, that's not it. But I'll show it to you at some point, maybe tomorrow. It's whiteboard where I summarized my market research for my marketing business. After all the interviews that I did, I just in the whiteboard, I had 4 columns. So the first column was challenges, and I wrote down all the challenges that people were mentioning during the interviews. Second column was the desires, the things that they wanted. Third column was all about the emotions. How did I make them feel? Frustrated, intimidated, all these emotions. And the fourth column was all about the solutions, the things that I could provide for them in order to help them go from the challenge to the desire. Okay, so I'm going to share that to you tomorrow, share that with you tomorrow. But it's really about having a place where you have all that data, all that information, because it's the foundation of all of your content. There's nothing in my content for my marketing business that is not based on that market research. I don't talk about anything other than what I got in the market research, unless I just feel like talking about something that has nothing to do with it. But everything is based on the market research. So that's why I'm always surprised when people say, I don't know what to talk about. I don't know what to create a YouTube video about. That's proof that you haven't done the market research, because the market research is going to give you everything. People will give you everything, what their problems are, what they want, how it makes them feel. All you have to do is take that and create content about it. If they're struggling with insecurities, create content about how to be more confident. If they're struggling with their finances, maybe they're having a hard time budgeting, staying on budget and things like that. Create content on how to stay on budget, on how to create a budget, on why is it so hard to stay on budget. Create content based on the things that they have told you in the market research. Period. That's it. You don't have to scratch your head and trying to come up with content out of nowhere. It's given to you through your market research, and you will never have to run out of content ideas for anything, for emails, YouTube videos, anything. Okay? So if you feel like you're running out of content ideas, all you have to do is talk to your ideal client. Ask them questions. How's it going now? Like, what are they struggling with right now? How can you help them right now with the issue that they have? Okay. So, last but not least, how do you want to help them and why? This is where we go into the business model. So, for that mom, for example, who's trying to lose the baby weight, there's different ways I could help her. I mentioned that I could do one-on-one sessions on Zoom, but I could also create a course. I could make that a group program. It doesn't have to be just one-on-one. So one-on-one is one way. I could have a course to teach her the basics, the fundamentals of losing weight for new moms. I might talk about nutrition. I might talk about hormones. I might talk about all these different things. Okay, it could be a self-paced course, or it could be a live course where there's modules, there's videos that I've recorded, and then we also get to talk to each other every week as a group. Okay, that could be it. I could do a summit. Okay, having a summit 100% online again, I could also serve my ideal client that way. Okay, granted, it's not going to be a monthly thing, but it's also a way to serve your ideal client. So the business models, there are different ways to serve your audience. It just depends on what works for you and what works for your ideal client as well. I personally don't necessarily enjoy long-term one-on-one programs. I enjoy working one-on-ones with like short-term, like 3 months or shorter, more than likely VIP days. So it's a one day. We do what we have to do in one day, like planning content, like 90 days of content and things like that. So I do a lot of VIP days. And it's just one day, one-on-one, and it's done. You have your 90 days of content all planned. All right. But in a group setting, I kind of enjoy more longer programs in a group setting, like a membership, for example, or a 3 months, 6 months group program. Okay. So it really depends on what your preferences are and how your ideal client can be supported. Can you really help your ideal client through a membership? Can you really help them through one-on-one? Can you really help them in a group setting? Maybe it's a topic that is maybe more private, like maybe you trying to walk them through healing traumatic situations. Maybe a group setting might not be the best fit for that niche. Okay, maybe one-on-one is more appropriate. Okay, so it just depends on what you like and the nature of how you helping your clients as well. All right. So, any questions that you guys might have about market research? It's heavy. It's a lot, but again, once you do it, it gives you everything. It gives you everything. So do not skip market research. If you don't know what to talk about, you don't know how to help your audience, it's because you've skipped the market research. Okay? So, like we said, day one was really about what you want and what you're good at. So, the good and what you like to do. Today, day two is okay, are they willing to pay? Will they pay? During the market research, you're asking them. That's another question you're going to ask. Have you paid anybody for that? Have you bought any books, any services, any programs to help you with that? Yes, no. If they have, maybe you're going to ask them, okay, how was that? How did it help? Did it help at all? What did they like about those programs? What didn't they like about those programs? You can ask those questions. If they haven't bought anything, you can say, well, hey, Royal, I'm so glad you got the live as well. You can ask them, well, in what ways would you like to be supported? And they can tell you, and that's your business model. Well, I would love somebody to really tell me what to do every single day when I wake up, what to eat. I would like somebody to tell me, somebody to push me, to be like on me like all day, to push me, to really motivate me to go and go on the walk. And then you're like, okay, light bulb, okay, so she wants a nutrition plan. Okay, I'm going to include that in the program. She wants somebody on her like all days. Okay, so accountability, daily accountability. So you're getting all that information from your ideal client, telling you exactly what they want from you. You don't have to make it up. They are telling you exactly what they want, but you just have to listen. You have to listen. You have to ask the questions. Okay. So, passive market research, look around. The answers are everywhere. Look at where your ideal client is. If you don't know where your ideal client is, let me know in the comments and I can help you out. Okay. Maybe they're on LinkedIn. Maybe they're on Facebook. Maybe they are not on social media. Okay. What do you do? Maybe they post on Reddit. Maybe they're on YouTube. Maybe not. Okay? So you do the passive market research, observe, read, listen, watch, do all of that. But then you have to be active as well. You need to get your own answers. Do the survey, ask the right questions like what do you find most challenging about dot dot dot. If you had a magic wand, what would you like your finance, weight, relationships to look like? How would you like them to look like? Or 5 years from now, 2 years from now, how do you see your finances, your relationship, your all of that? Have you what is keeping you from getting there? Have you paid for any kind of support for that? Have you bought books? Have you bought programs? Have you talked to somebody about it? Yes, no, why? For everything, you have to ask why, okay? For everything. And that's the benefit of doing an interview on Zoom, is because you can actually ask follow-up questions. And okay, now if I were to offer something like that, what would you want to see included? What kind of support do you want? If I were to create a program that could help you with blank, that could help you lose the weight, that could help you move abroad sooner this year, that could help you start a business this year, that could help you restore your marriage, that could help you divorce your spouse, whatever it is, right? What would you like to see in that program? Okay? And guess what? Tomorrow we're creating that program. Tomorrow we're going to be testing that program and we're going to get paid before we even create the program. So that's what we're going to do tomorrow on day 3, testing your better offer. But today, I understand it's heavy, but it's necessary. So if you have any questions about market research, let me know in the comments. Even if you're watching this on replay, just let me know. I'll come back and answer your questions. If you want me to review your ideal client statement, like who you really want to work with, so I can tell you if it's too broad or if it's niche enough. And one thing that I like to do as well, a lot of people do that, is give your ideal client a name. Like, can you picture her or him? Like, who are they? Like, maybe they're a combination of different people in real life that you know. Like, my ideal client, she's a combination of people that I know, and I gave her the name Brooke. And so whenever I create content, I know, okay, what would Brooke want? What does Brooke need right now? What does she need? What do I have to say right now to her? Okay. So it helps you not to be all over the place when you know that you have to focus on that one person. Okay. So that was that for today. I hope they was helpful. Again, if you have any questions, let me know. We are going to move on to day 3 tomorrow, and we're going to be talking about that pre-launching your paid offer. Okay, so if you want to be if you want the possibility of winning some prizes, I invite you to join the free Facebook group. All you have to do is sign up in the link below. I think it's bit.ly/challenge tokende. You will get an email, and you will get also the link to join the free Facebook group. You can post your homework. Once you post your homework, you'll be entered into a raffle to win a $25 Amazon gift card, as well as a one-on-one coaching session with me. So all you have to do is submit your homework. That's all. And I will do the drawing tomorrow. Okay, so depending on if we have people answering, submitting their homework, then I can do the draw. Okay, the raffle. All right, enjoy the rest of your day. And again, questions, post them in the comments, whether you're watching live or you're watching this from the future. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and I'll be talking to you soon. Bye.